Life is one of the life is one of the heaviest beings that one can try to support. It is known to go through storms, heavy winds, and downpours. But you are built to stand and not collapse. I challenge you to grow out of your comfort zone. The biggest giant that you will ever face in life is your mindset. One of the biggest things that limit us and keep us defeated is the opinion that we have of ourselves. When I changed my mind, it changed my life. I didn't just survive, I bounced back better. I bounced back better. Bounce 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 back better.
You're now listening to LifeStruction with Eric.
Welcome to the LifeStruction with Eric podcast. I am your host, Eric. Thank you so much for tapping in. Hope everyone's Wednesday is going amazing. Hope everyone's having a great week. I have a great guest with me today. We met a few months ago at an amazing Celebration of Authors event, and we just kind of hit it off. I mean, she's just an amazing woman. She has a great story, and she's just so down to earth. And, you know, I just love her personality, loves everything she stands for. And she has this amazing book that talks about, you know, how she reconstructed her marriage. And I'm just glad to have her on today. At this time, I'm going to bring on Miss Carol Kirkendoll. Welcome, Miss Carol, to the show. How are you, Miss Carol?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. So good to have you on. Still on the high from Saturday, this past Saturday. Once again, it was your second time doing the showcase, and oh man, once again, you delivered amazing word. Well, I'm not going to say amazing word. You delivered an amazing piece of inspiration, you know, to those that was in attendance, and you're big on marriage. But before we go into that, just tell us a little bit about who Miss Carol Kirkendoll is.
First of all, I like to say I'm a mother. I'm a wife of 23 years, a certified life coach, and a certified relationship coach, and an educator. That's what I am. Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. And the way that you walk across the stage back and forth, I can definitely tell that you're an educator because, you know, it's like, you know, you own the floor. You know, you walk back and forth and you just, you know, your deliverance, you know, it definitely has some teaching behind it, but I just love your deliverance. And like I said, I love how you talk about marriage, and let's jump right in. What is, you know, your success story for a healthy marriage?
Well, I just recently found out for me quality time, what my love language was. And quality time is so important. And I know that everybody's schedule is busy. So when I talk about a successful marriage, you gotta put the work in. You gotta have time and make time for each other.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. And, you know, that's definitely a plus, you know, making sure you put in time for one another. I
Yes.
struggled with that big time a few years ago. I had no balance.
Mhm.
I had no balance. Working a full-time job and then trying to do my thing on the side, and it allowed very little time for me and my wife to spend time together.
Right.
And it can definitely cause bad vibes to be in your
Mhm.
home when you're
Mhm.
not spending that quality time together.
Absolutely. You have to, it'll put a strain, it'll literally put a strain on your relationship, your marriage, if you're not putting that quality time in with each other.
Right, right. So, one of the things you said this past weekend, that I absolutely loved, you said, men should only have eyes for their lady.
Hmm.
Ladies, you should only have eyes for your man. And then you went on to say, keep your circle very small
Hmm.
and be careful who you voice any of your marital or relationship problems to.
Right.
No, why is this so important?
It's so important because, like, when I've talked to so many couples, and that was one of the issues. For women, we have kids, and when you have kids, your body change, and so when you meet your mate, you're one way, and then as you're growing into your relationship, the body change, and so it's a little bit of insecurity. I'm not saying that every woman is insecure, but it's important that the mate, the male, give that woman her accolades or give her compliments, and because she did have the children and things of that nature. So and to be looking at other women, it's disrespectful and it's hurtful. And so when I, talk to other couples, I try to tell them that's something that's so important, to try to just have eyes for that particular, for your mate only. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
it's going to be the flip side of that for the men. And then for men, when it comes to men, say it could apply the same way, but it's rude and disrespectful when you're out with your mate, because like I tell you, I think people are looking and wondering, oh wow, look at, there's a couple, some people want to see just how tight your relationship is, and so that's important.
Mm,
Yes.
yeah. Very, very much so. Um, you also talked about red flags, and what are some of those red flags that one should look for?
Okay, well, first and foremost, that's my favorite chapter in my book. Really, it is. Because if I could, talk to anybody getting into a relationship, that's in a relationship, it's so important to address anything that you feel uncomfortable with. If you feel that it's going to cause a problem, or like, oh my God, that's making me think, you should address it. You should address it. So if it feels like a red flag, most definitely it is a red flag, and it should be addressed.
Hmm. Okay. And I like to go a little step further. You talked about things like if if you're dating someone
Mhm.
and they're an excessive drinker, or maybe
Mm,
they're an excessive gambler, you know,
yes.
um, or they they show up 2 o'clock in the morning versus showing up 6 o'clock in the evening.
Yes.
There are definitely red flags.
Absolutely.
So if you go ahead and proceed in that relationship, you shouldn't expect any of these things to change, because these were signs that you should have, been aware of and kind of jimmy down on early, you know,
Right.
because once you're with them and you're married them, more than likely it's not going to stop.
Right. It's like when you see these things happen and you just let it go on and go, oh, it'll change itself. The damage is done, and then it's kind of hard to for people to switch gears. And I think anything that's excessive is a red flag. Anything. I don't.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter what it is. But when you leave things unanswered or talked about, or whatever the case may be, you leave the door open for a breakdown in the relationship. You really do, and then it's kind of hard to piggyback. And so, why not address it early on and try to communicate, talk that way, and work it out.
Yeah. Definitely. So, how do because both times we've done the event, Mr. Kirkendall, he's right there beside you. He's
Yes,
smiling. He's, you know,
yes.
he's he's always in a very good mood. I watch you guys from a distance,
Mhm.
just laughing and communicating with one another. You can tell anyone that's in the presence of you guys, you can sense there's a lot of love there. Some
Yes,
people they can put on a good act in
yes,
public, but you can really tell it's genuine between the
right,
two of you. So, how
right.
did you guys keep excitement in your marriage?
Well, one thing I always tell people about my husband, I call him the game changer in the book, is that I know that my husband loves me, and that's so important. And it's not about things that he does; it's him. In this, he shows it. He's attentive. He is my biggest cheerleader. He really is. He's my biggest cheerleader. He's my support system. And what we do is Matthew and I, we literally spend a lot of time together as we're getting older, and we spend quality time together. And years before we didn't. Our kids are
Hmm.
gone, grown, and they're gone or whatever. But we spend quality time together. We talk, and like I said, it's not perfect. Nothing's perfect, but he's my soulmate. He's definitely my soulmate.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. You know, and everybody, that comes on weekly, you guys know when I bring a guest on, their story have to basically, it's not just because they're an author, but
Right.
their story basically can relate to, the LifeStruction platform, the
Absolutely.
foundation of it. And one of the things, I love the success story
Hmm.
behind your marriage
Hmm.
because um, like myself, you had to go back in and rebuild. You
Yes.
guys' marriage at one point was broken,
Yes.
but you guys were able to go back in and reconstruct your marriage. Let's
Yes.
talk about that a little bit.
Okay. Well, it has to take two people. You can't just take one person doing all the work. Because if one person is doing the work, that person's getting healed and fixed, and other person is doing nothing. So you both have to want it. And that was the key for Matthew and I. We both wanted the marriage. So what we did is he went on one side to the left, I went to the right, and we worked on ourselves first, and that's the key. What I was talking about even on Saturday is you have to start with yourself, and so don't blame and decide, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be together, and so let's work on ourselves and then work as a unit. And the love was definitely there, and it just got better and better and better and stronger. Mhm.
Yeah, and it's amazing because in a lot of instances, it's just like you said, it takes two, but a
Yeah.
lot of times, we see it so often. It's only one that really want it, and the other one, they're just stubborn.
Right.
Even if they want it, they're stubborn because they don't want to put in the work.
Right.
So, and it definitely takes two. So
It
I'm
absolutely.
just
Mhm.
I'm just amazed, when I hear your story on, how you guys were able to go back in and just
Right.
rebuild. And obviously you guys were able to go back in and just nip at the root,
Mhm.
things that wasn't supposed to grow between the two of you guys,
Right.
and get all of that bad, all of the bad roots out, and you guys just rebuilt off of stronger soil. So
Right. Absolutely.
I just commend you guys, and I just love what you guys have done. And
Mhm.
like I said, anyone that see the two of you, it's just like you never would believe your story, you
Mhm.
know, um, to anyone that was, be in the presence of you two. But
Mhm.
like they say, we all have a story. We
Yes,
all
we
have a
do.
story. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Now, I want
What?
to can I piggyback on something you said and I didn't address it, and
Definitely.
I'm sorry. You know, when
Yes.
you were saying about, I was saying, be careful who you let into your circle. Because like I said, I always say that everybody, they don't have your best interests at heart. They just don't, and so, when you're, and I'm not saying that you can't have single friends. I'm not saying that, because not every person that's single is going to taint your marriage. But you want to be careful the things that you share with people when they're going through situations, because misery loves company. And
Mm.
so you want people, surround yourself with your marriage, your relationship, with positive people, that want to see you thrive and grow as a unit.
I totally agree. Totally agree. It's funny that you went back and piggybacked off of that, because me and a friend was talking a few weeks ago, and we were talking about, us as men, how men have issues, and they feel like if they go to someone seeking help, seeking counseling, they're considered weak.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what a lot of brothers will do, and that's why so much turmoil remains in the relationship, is because let's say I'm in a bad relationship, my best friend is in a bad relationship, we both married to women that take us through changes,
Right.
but all we do is get together and complain
Right.
about, I complain to him about mine, he
Right.
complained to me about his, and then
Mhm.
we both go home miserable.
Right.
And he couldn't
Right.
give me no advice because he's
Right.
stuck in the same thing that I'm stuck in.
Exactly.
So right. So with that being said, you know, keep keep your keep negativity. You don't even need to voice it, especially when
Mhm.
you're not trying to fix it. If
Right.
you're not trying to fix it, don't even voice it to someone else that's in the same position that you're in, because
Exactly.
they can't give you no type of positive advice.
Right.
None
And
at
all
all.
you, none at all. And all you have at that moment, at that time, is a griping section. You're just
Right.
griping and complaining.
Right.
Nobody's
Yeah.
getting fixed or healed or growing or learning. You want to surround yourself with people who are really moving at the same kind, in the same direction, or whatever. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful who you talk to. You got to be careful who you allow to give you advice on your marriage, things of that
Mm,
nature. Hmm.
right. Right. So let's just say we have someone that's listening this evening, that's single, and
Hmm.
they may be in a relationship
Hmm.
that they've been ignoring the red flags, or
Mm,
they're just doubting, you know the person that they've been spending time with, like,
right,
are they the one, or are they the one?
right,
you know
right.
um what type of advice would you give them?
Well, I'm going to go back to what I learned from years ago. That list, that list, pros and cons. You know it, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Pros and cons. Sit down and write. And like my mom would say, if the good outweighs the bad. So
Mm.
this comes with the journaling. Sit down. If you can't speak it at that moment, you should write it out. I tell everybody, write it down so you can see it on paper. If that thing keeps coming up, that's a red flag. It absolutely needs to be addressed. And to me, communication, if you can't communicate in your relationship, that is a breakdown. You should be able to talk to your mate, whether dating or married or whatever the case may be. But the advice I would give is ask questions, get the answers you need before you proceed.
Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. Definitely. I love that. I love that. And it's just, you know I have a friend, a coworker, and I see her from time to time. She comes through. She's a flight attendant, so she comes
Oh,
through every
yeah.
now and then. I run into her, and she's been in a few relationships over the years, and she
Mhm.
met this guy last year, and I saw her last year, and she was like, guess what, I met this guy,
Mhm.
and she was like, um normally I'm gripsing, like, okay, when is the real him going to show up? She was like, but
Right.
for whatever reason, I just have this wonderful feeling about him. She's like, he's so honest with me. He tells me everything. And
Mhm.
she was like, sometimes I'm like, he tells me too much. But then I realized he just want me to trust him.
Oh,
And I saw her last week, and she was telling me some things, and she were like, yeah, we're doing great. And I was messing with her. I was like,
right,
wow. I said, wow, he must have laid the hammer down. And we laughed about it. And
right,
she was
right.
like, you know what? It's not even that. She was
Mhm.
like, it's not even that. She was like, but we spend time together.
I love it.
She's like, he'll come over my house and lay his head in my lap and just
Mhm.
watch TV with me
Oh,
and
awesome.
tell me about your day. And she's like, I've never had anyone to do that.
Mhm.
She's like, he comes over to my house and he'll just lay there beside me,
Right.
or either he'll tell me to lay down and he'll just go in my kitchen and start cooking. And she was like, and then he'll get up and go home. He don't even
Oh,
try to come into the bedroom.
right,
And
right.
she's like, I've never had this before. And
Awesome.
she was like, he's just amazing. And
Mhm.
she has 2 kids, and she's like, he loves my kids. He
Love
does
it.
stuff with them, and sometimes it's not all about me. He wants to take them
Right.
out and do stuff with them.
Mhm.
So, he can learn them for himself. And
Absolutely.
I'm like, I was like, well, sounds like he may be a keeper,
Right, right.
because that's some of the stuff that we don't see early
Yes.
on in a relationship.
Right.
They've been together now probably about a year, but
Oh, okay.
I'm like, it's great. And they're not that old. I think they're about 35 or so.
Oh,
So
that's young. That's
that's
super young.
but but
Mhm.
that's amazing to be that
Mhm.
age and to see this type of flow,
Yes.
so for anyone that's watching, what I just said, it is possible.
Yeah.
It's okay for a
Mhm.
man to come over and spend time with you and
Mhm.
make you feel wanted, make you feel important, and then go home at the end of the evening without
Yeah.
spending the night, and vice versa.
Right.
For men as well, same thing, same
And
thing.
well, and the thing is for her to enjoy, take her time. Just take her time
Right,
and enjoy. See, we rush into it. We want to hurry up and get to the altar. Just so when you talk to her again, just tell her enjoy and just and always look, just not just look for trouble. No, just be cautious, be patient, ask any questions, but enjoy the relationship and take
right,
her time. Just tell her to take her time.
right,
Take her time.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, yeah, of course, I'm over 50, but I
Me
just
too.
love laying back watching TV together. you
Yes,
know, and
absolutely.
sometimes, I just blow her mind, on weekends if I'm lucky enough to be off or before I
Right.
go to work. If I just lay there and watch Lifetime with her, she's like,
Hmm.
"You really gonna
I
watch
know.
this with me?" You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and I be getting into the movies. I'd be like, hold up, I'm telling her what's going to happen, but it's small things like that that totally,
No, seriously.
make her day. It totally
Yeah.
makes her day.
And that's what Matthew and I, our quality time, we watch TV together. He say he don't watch my shows, Love and Hip Hop and things of that nature, but he's right there front and center. We enjoy it. That's one of our best quality times is sitting down and just relaxing. Because you're right, we're getting
Right.
older and we
Yeah.
just want to and just be in each other's presence and just be together. Simple as that.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. It's nothing, like being in a relationship and you can hear, you're a man or a woman on the phone and they're ha ha laughing with someone on the phone, but you
Yes.
can't experience any of that between the two of you. Something's
Right.
definitely wrong. Something's
There's a
definitely
breakdown.
wrong. When
There's a breakdown.
right. When
They can
when
have
more
a
right,
whole conversation with other people, and then when you get in the presence of them, they have nothing to say, nothing to say to you.
right,
Yeah, so that's
right.
that's a red flag. There you go.
Right.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
If you can share more laughter with someone else than your mate, yeah, you have some
Yeah,
work to do. What is
absolutely.
what is Downtown
Oh,
Abbey?
it's a good show. He's
Is
funny.
it?
Yes, it really is. That is a Downton Abbey is a really good show.
Okay.
But one thing I always say, everybody got to define their own relationship. Everybody's not going to want to be married. I mean, marriage is not for everybody, but if you are in it, respect each other, love each other,
Yeah.
and women, be careful how you talk to your men, and don't belittle your man. And because if I always say that once you belittle your man and you break him down, then he's not your king. He's not your
Right.
king. He's your pet.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
men have to treat women not like a doormat, honor them and love them. And I'm gonna go here with you, Mr. Eric, because I see how you talk about your wife, and you too. You don't think people is watching and seeing the moves you make. You talk really highly of your wife, and I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I mean, and us as men, we should.
Yeah.
We should. And at the same time, one of the things I learned, when you're not talking about your wife,
Yep.
or when you're not talking about your husband, when you never acknowledging them,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it kind of leaves the door open for people to be like, well, oh, I don't
Right.
ever talk about his wife, but let me shoot my shot.
Right.
You
Oh, I
know,
didn't know you were
so
married. Like, how you not know?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Everybody should know. If everybody's married, who's ever married, people should know you're married by you speaking it. People think, well, a ring doesn't mean anything. A ring symbolizes a unit. And so I'm just saying, some people don't wear their ring for whatever reason, but these are things. If it means something to your significant other, your mate, honor that. Do that thing
right,
to make them feel
right.
loved, and
Mhm.
appreciate it. Yeah.
That's right. That's
Hmm.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
Miss Carol, thank you so much
mhm.
for this
Absolutely.
amazing conversation here.
So,
Thank you for
mhm.
allowing me to kidnap you. You
Thank you.
you have a book,
I
and you
do.
released it. What, you released your book back in like February,
January,
February.
January.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, my recipe for my successful marriage: how I turned turmoil into triumph. Correct?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So tell them a little bit about what that book is about, and where they can purchase it at.
Okay. My book it's my memoir. It's about my life, a little bit when I was growing up, and then how I got into my first marriage, and it was not great. And then I got remarried and was bringing some of that baggage into my current marriage, and then how I decided and needed to make some necessary changes. I put a lot of tools in there for people who are looking to get into a relationship or who's currently in one. You can go to Amazon.com and you can purchase the book, or you can literally just put my name in. There you go, Carol Kirkendoll, and you'll find my book on Amazon. If you buy my book, you will get a 30-minute coaching session with me, where we can just sit and talk, or whatever the case may be, about whatever you want to talk about. But the book is so that a lot of people don't have to go through the things that I went through. If I can save you any problems, any hardship by reading the book. And real quick, my recipe is on the front of the book, and that's God, love, patience, prayer, trust, faith, honor, respect, and commitment.
Okay. Okay. Now that's a heck of a bargain. You said purchase the book and you get a 30-minute session.
Yep,
Wow.
free.
That's
Hmm.
that's kind of unheard of, especially you being a certified coach. That's a lot of love there when you're willing to, give 30 minutes for someone purchasing your book. So,
Yep.
hey, go to Amazon and get that book, and schedule that coaching session.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Uh, Real quick, Miss Ayana Powell said
Mhm.
she's asking a question. When you have disrespected your mate, how do you repair that?
Hmm. Well, it does it keep happening? We all make mistakes. We're human. But if this is something to the point where you just have zero respect for your mate, again, that's a problem. You have to question whether or not that relationship is something you want to be in. Because if you're finding yourself disrespecting your mate over and over again, or that person's doing stuff, yeah, that's questionable. So how do you repair
Hmm.
it? You check yourself. You got to go dig deep and find out, why is this happening? What part am I playing? Why it keeps happening, and fix it. Apologize. Here's some. Let me give you some words here. I am sorry. Those 3 words, I am sorry, they carry a lot of weight in a relationship. A lot of weight.
And mean it. But you have to mean it.
Mean it. Absolutely, sir. You're right. And mean it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah. And Miss Antonia Branch said, when do you know that a man is ready, for those of us that are single?
Well, first and foremost, he will be, this is the thing, when a man wants you, hey, ain't no doubt. I always tell everybody, when someone wants you, or I say love you, they will go to the end of the earth for you. I promise you. No question. If you got to be questioning that love or commitment, that's a problem. Because I have one that went to the end of the earth for me, and he's still with me. So that's how you know. And what is it, Tony? Her name's Tony Antonia. Yeah, that's how you know, when that man will stop at nothing for you. You'll know. That's how you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm nowhere near a relationship therapist, but it's just, when because and that goes both ways, man or a woman. They're gonna just do things that you're gonna be like, you did that for me,
right?
And it's not always material things,
right?
It's not all, it's not always that, right. It's small things, like one of the things that my wife, she brought it up a few months ago. She was like, you remember when we first moved in together? You used to leave me a note on the counter every morning before you left out the door. And she kept them. It was like a big old stack,
Right.
She was like, you used to write me a note every morning before you left. She was like, I want you to start doing that again, and I mean, but it's small things.
Absolutely.
That just makes your day. And it's things like that you start looking forward to.
Right.
Just, sending. One thing, communication is big.
Huge.
Communication is
huge.
That's huge for me. Huge. Don't you dare be texting me all day long. No, I need to hear your voice.
Right.
I'm big on that. And I don't know if it's the over 50 in me or what, but I just think that should be something that's for anybody. I don't care how old you is.
Exactly.
We need to hear each other's voice. Let's stop all of the texting.
Right.
Go back to the old days before cell phones existed. People would actually call each other.
Right.
If you're out of town, FaceTime, video chat, that's fine. Yeah. But if we're in the same city, call me.
You should be able to talk to one another. Yeah. And
right.
And when I call my husband and I can't get him, I'm like texting or whatever, he's going to pick up that phone or whatever. You shouldn't have to wonder where your mate is. You shouldn't have to wonder where your mate is. You should know where they are. That's in the book as well. Like I said, I put a lot of information in the book. These are things that I went through, like literally went through this. And if I can just save anybody some hardship through the dating process, take your time, get to know that person, don't rush. And if it don't feel good, it don't feel right, don't enter into it. Don't do it.
Right. Yeah. That's it. That's it. So, any more questions for us before we wrap up? Real funny. I was watching one of those entertainment channels where they have people and they're discussing, funny stuff that people did. And what's the one where the people go to the grocery store and pick up your stuff and deliver it?
Oh yeah. Cart. Instacart.
Instacart.
It is.
Yeah. And this guy, he I guess he was supposed to have been spending the evening with this girl. They had only been dating like 3 times. And this was the first time she was going to allow him to come to her house.
Right.
And they actually made him stay at work 4 hours later, so he
Oh
wasn't
boy.
able to go.
Right.
So he went through Instacart and got her some flowers
Aw.
and some candy and had them deliver it to her,
How
and
beautiful.
he was
Mhm.
like, it was last minute, but I wanted her to know since I couldn't be there,
I love
and
it.
it totally, she, you know, did the little video of it and I guess put it on
Yeah.
Instagram or whatever, and they were talking about it on the show. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, hey, do what you can to let them know that, hey, I'm not there, but hey,
That's a great
you
gesture.
know,
It's a great
yeah,
gesture. I love it.
definitely.
I love it. Now, one thing I do want to say to my married couples, stop throwing in the towel at the first sign of trouble. Stop doing it. Fight for it. If you love each other, I mean, with white knuckles, fight for it.
Hmm.
Okay. And I told you
Right.
before, and this is my saying, and I mean it. Me and Mister, we are going to roll till the wheels fall off, and then we're going to roll on the rims, because I mean, this is what we're in it for the long haul.
Right.
And like I said, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. I see a
Right.
question there.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. She said, how do you keep your relationship fresh to
Ooh.
remain married?
You said it. You said it. Communication. Find out what they like, because things change. Now, what worked years
Yeah.
ago may not work today. So, guess what? What we doing here? Are we going to flip up and do this and that and the third? So, talk about it. Be about it and see what we like. We used to do this. Now, we want to try something different? Hey, communication is key. Find out
Hmm.
what's changed. Well, I used to like that. I like this now. Talk about it and accommodate each other. And keeping it fresh is just being present with one another and being there for one another, and rolling together as a unit. When you go up, your spouse go up. You go up together. You don't leave your mate behind. You
Hmm.
go up together. Yes. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to piggyback off of that, one of the things that, I always I'm big on pouring into people that I'm connected to.
Mhm.
Don't, like I just said about the letters, and I
Mhm.
stopped, I
Oh,
stopped writing those.
yeah.
It's all, we have to remember stuff that we do or used to do
Right.
that they really appreciate it. Try not to stop that stuff. But if
Yeah.
you're going to stop it, you got to introduce something that's above
Right.
that.
Yeah.
You have to always keep outdoing yourself, and then she has those big expectations. And like I said, it's not always, monetary wise. It's
Right.
just small things
Yeah.
that you can like be over the top with, date
Right.
night.
Right.
Sometimes date night can just be, you know,
Just hanging out.
going down to Tempe Town Lake and
Yep.
walking all the way around the water,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and it don't cost you a dime to walk.
Right.
But as you're walking, you're talking and you're people watching.
Hmm. Hmm.
Nothing is wrong with going out to dinner, doing the
Right.
movie, or doing something exciting. But sometimes it's all about, just taking a walk in the park, getting a
Right.
picnic basket, getting some
Mhm.
fruit,
Right.
lay that blanket out, and
And just
feed
enjoy.
each other grapes and strawberries,
Hmm.
and
Right.
go home and look, you're going to be. I mean, that just sets a crazy mood,
Yep.
crazy mood, and it
Hmm.
it keeps that spark.
Yes, it
It keeps
does.
that spark, but it's always stuff that we think is small that the
It
next
means a
one would,
lot.
right, right.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
another thing is sometimes it may be something that I may not like, but I know she love it. So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go with her,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have a smile on my face,
Right.
and because guess what? If you keep doing it, you're gonna find something in what she likes that you're gonna start to like. But you have to you may not like it on the first go
Right.
around. But if you
Hmm.
continue to do stuff with her that you really didn't like, you're gonna
Hmm.
be able to pull something positive out of it. Then, you know what? I do kind of like this,
Right.
and
Yeah.
vice versa. They have to do the same for you. They may not
Right.
like some of the stuff that you like, but
Hmm.
make them come along. You
Well,
know,
that's one thing about Matthew. He really supports me with my family, when we have family get-togethers, gatherings, or going out of town, whatever. So, then sometimes we're like, I don't want to go, but I say, guess what? He supports me in everything, and sometimes he's the only man. He's the only man there, But you know what? He's there to support me, and I do appreciate it because I was like, oh, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do it. And then I thought about it. There's never a time he tells me no. He really doesn't tell me no. He takes good care
Right.
of me. Yeah. So you're right. And then you said something. The same thing it took to get me is going to be the same thing to keep me. But like you said, you can upgrade it, upgrade your marriage, make it better, and yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
Love it.
Okay.
hmm
All right. So Antonia, she said, what are some tips you can give to a single woman such as her to prepare them for marriage and to get them to the altar? Ooh.
Okay. Well, I got you on that one, Miss Antonia. Let me tell you, first and foremost, it's everything you do is going to start with self. First, you need to love you. Okay, that's number one. I'm going to go there. You got to love you first. You have to love yourself so much to where other people catch the overflow of your love. So that's important.
Mm.
When you learn to love you, then you're able to give that love to others. Getting to that altar, just take your time. When you find that person that you like, um, address the red flags if there's any. Okay, set your boundaries. Find out what it is that you want in a relationship. I hear people say, what are they bringing to the table? Well, guess what? The same thing you're asking that person to bring to the table, you need to bring it as well, if not more. You need to bring it because you're asking for these things. Okay, so that's a part of dating. It's like a first interview, if you will. Okay. And here's the thing about that. When you tell people when you first meet them, I want to get married, and they say, oh, I don't want to get married. Well, that's not the person for you because they already told you they don't want to get married. So listen to what the
Right.
questions you're asking, and that's going to hopefully get you to the altar. But again, take your time, self love, ask questions, and set your boundaries, and define what you're looking for and be that as
Yeah.
you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
You're welcome.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was my mom.
I know.
Man,
She has them.
this wow, you guys have had some really, really great questions. Great
Yes.
questions. So
Yes.
I hope Miss Carol
Mhm.
have helped someone tonight.
Yes.
If you have doubts about the relationship you're in, or if you needed advice about how to add excitement and keep that spark flowing, I hope that you guys got some great tools to walk away with
Thank you.
tonight. Once again, if you guys are interested, go to Amazon.com, type in her name, Carol Kirkendoll.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and once her name comes up, you want to look for my recipe, my memoir, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's going to say my recipe for my successful marriage. And get that book. And as she stated, with the book, you get a 30-minute session, 30-minute coaching
Absolutely.
session
Yeah.
that
For
comes
free.
along with the book. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely run and get it. Run and get it. Uh, and yeah, thank you so much, ladies, for tuning in tonight and watching. And yeah, we're normally on Mondays. I had switched it up this month to
Mm-hmm.
Wednesdays, but in July we'll be back on Mondays at 6 p.m. If you missed the live preview, you can always go to YouTube, LifeStruction with Eric,
Oh, I love
and
it.
listen. We have some amazing past episodes that you can definitely go to on YouTube, or you can go to Spotify and listen while you're driving in your car. You can listen, or you're at home cleaning up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yes, and gentlemen, Mr. Brown. Yes, I can always count on my brother Mike to
I
be
know,
tuning
Mr.
in.
Mike.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, you guys can listen on YouTube or Spotify at past issues. And hey, If you know someone that has a story that links in with the LifeStruction podcast, definitely send them my way. And I'm always looking for people to bring them on. We talk
Yes.
about everything. Like tonight, it was marriages. We talk about, people with low self-esteem
Right.
issues, people that's been through relationships where they were, mentally or physically abused, people
Right.
that, has had a bout with alcohol or drugs, people that's struggling to lose weight, whatever those life trauma issues is, we talk about it here. And we have had people from all walks of life that's defeated all of those issues and bounced back. So, hey,
Mhm.
if you know someone that fits, send them my way. I'd love to have them on. And yeah, once again, we thank you guys for tuning in on this Wednesday. You guys have an amazing rest of your evening. And yeah, remember to smile from the heart. It always is a blessing to someone, because when you have that smile, you have that compassion in your heart. Sometimes you don't even have to open your mouth. You can look at a person that's in your presence and it just will flow off you and flow right into them. And you don't realize what that smile does
Mm.
to someone that's broken. And you
Wow.
never know who's in your presence that's broken, because they may not open their mouth and say anything, but just you getting up in the morning, and before you leave out the house, you put that smile on, you insert it in your heart, it's automatically going to come out here.
Mhm.
But remember, that smile can basically bless someone that could be contemplating suicide. They could be, contemplate, someone that's going through
Yeah.
a bad bout, diagnosis of some type of sickness or whatever it is. Just you being able to smile, it just blesses someone, and that's what LifeStruction is all about. So, hey, make sure that you insert that smile this week. Oh wow, Ayana was all the way from Atlanta. Well, wow. Well, thank
Mhm.
you from coming
Oh,
in
yeah.
from Atlanta. That's a blessing. Uh,
Mhm.
if you're on Instagram, tap in with me, connect with me, Ayana, and I would definitely like to hear more about you. Thank you so much for tapping in from Atlanta. Miss Patricia Robinson, thank you so much for
Mhm.
tapping in. And yeah, you guys have an
Awesome.
amazing rest of your week.
All right.
Blessings
Thank
to
you.
you.
All right. Thank you.